The other side. Here is my story. I have been married for 14 years and now have 8 years of son. What a bumpy road of my marriage when I look back. I just informed my lawyer to file the divorce for me. My wife can be a lovely and caring friend. That was what led me fell into love with. But just after marriage, my wife began to show her other side of personality. She dominated over me on every issue. Years ago, after quarreling, in a rage, she threatened to jump over the window from the second floor. I was frightened and was forced to apologize to her and literally kowtow to her in order to persuade her not to endanger herself. After my son was born, things turned to worse. She treated our son as hers only, blaming me not a good dad on trivial things. I have been working for 6-7 days a week. She was a housewife. Yet, she claims she is really busier than me and I need to appreciate her all the time. I bought a good-size house as she wanted 4 years ago. That did not satisfy her for long. I bought her a luxury car for her last month by trading in my oldest car. I am now driving her old car to work and she keeps the new luxury car at home. She even did not appreciate it. Just last night, when I got back home late at night and went to eat at kitchen, she was so mad at me for not answering her call that she threw out my food into trash. I had enough. I am filing for the divorce now. I do not see any chance for us to go back to a dreamland of happy marriage. Am I correct? In 14 years of marriage, I keep thinking of divorce in every year. The main reason I stayed for 14 years is that it was hard for me to break my marriage while knowing that she wants to stay in the marriage anyway. I used to believe that she still loves me and just has personality issues. But over the years, I learned every day that she is just pretending to be weak and vulnerable and intentionally taking advantage of my goodwill. She is a master of controlling person. She is in fact very dominant. I always right and you always wrong kind of person. When she fights, it is frightening to normal person. She throws away thing, make hysterical loud sound, and pretends to be hurt like I have a terrible headache. My stomach hurt. It is hurt so much that I am going to die. In the last few months, she has gone to hospital emergency room 3 times for nothing. She claims discomfort so many times that her primary doctor had her checked so many times that she recently got fired as a patient. I believe in love is forever and I will not abandon her if I feel any love. She left for me and we could have a normal family. It is an extremely hard decision for me to seek divorce alone. I am really sad about it, but at the same time, I see no way out but part away with her. I do not feel her as wife. She is a just controlling person that need me to fill in her void. Money, labor and fame. I am being used by her. I am sad to admit this and this let me feel a little depressed. I know I am weak now, but I also know I am doing the right thing. I have told her about divorce millions of times and have always gave her the second chance. She now believes she can handle me and ignore my warnings. I used to hope she can change or the problems between us can go away with time. I am really stupid in this regard. She liked to feel like a queen in front of her friends, big house, luxury car. A kid with good grade, a husband with a doctor title fit the bill. She said she was a queen when she was a child, and every kid was jealous about her. She really regards her old family, dad, mom, brothers, is noble, while almost every other families around are inferior. I bought things she liked to boost her self-image. Communication between us do occur, but not always genuine. We lack trust toward each other. Although I did place blind trust in her before. We are not in therapy. I really think this is her personality issue. I am a doctor myself and I read lots about things in related fields. I do not think therapy can be any good as both of us do not believe in it. Therapy may solve a communication problem, but it cannot change a person's personality. I am willing to foot the burden of paying the car. I am not very concerned about the money. The failure of the marriage weighs hard on me. I am willing to work overtime to dearth to earn my family back, but sadly, this is precisely I cannot get. From child to adult, lots of people around me, working or studying with me, said I am a smart person and an easygoing person. Many are puzzled by how awkward I have been handling my marriage problems. Many friends just urge me to make up many minds and stop the painful cycle of quarreling and fighting. Thinking of divorce improve quarreling and fighting again. Very painful indeed. I am smart at working and studying, but look how stupid I am in the middle of a dysfunctional marriage. She admitted that she would not jump off the window, just to bring me down to my knees. I did kowtow to her to save her. I just could not understand how a loved one can do this to you. I would never, ever do this to her, even as now I am planning my divorce. I want to leave her the house and alimony to have a comfort life without working. Not luxury life as she hopes for though. I plan to have the leaking roof fixed this weekend as she will not fix for herself. She really has a low IQ in fixing things but a high IQ in controlling people. The things are, every time she fights loudly, it frightens my son. My heart also beat too fast. I would rather not to confront her. She always threatens to call police when I fight back. It is embarrassing for me even to fight with her. I feel I am sinking to the same low level as her. This is another reason I want to leave her, as I see myself turning into someone I do not want to be. My wife was overdue for a reality check. Her parents are overprotecting her and always agreeable with her. Her dad even told me, "You do not realize that how lucky you are by marrying my daughter. She is the most beautiful, the most tender and kind girl in the world with a heart." I was stunned and speechless when listening. In the world, I cannot claim I see all the people in the world yet. When my wife speaks, she seems so confident about herself that anything critical about her is wrong and intentional personal attack. She claims that I am in such a lower level that I do not have the credibility to criticize her. Of course, only her old family have the credibility. She once claimed my gene was inferior to hers. Now she stops that absurd claim after being criticized by her friends. My anger did not stop her. It is the opinion of her friends that stop her. This says something about our relationship. It is interesting to observe how brilliant of her to handling me so many years. Yet, after divorce, how stupid she is to force a loving, hard-working husband like me to leave. I am a dedicated husband, as I never have any affairs in spite of my satisfactions of my marriage. I do try a lot to solve our problems, but she is not enthusiastic about this. She thinks it is all my faults and she wants to keep this way anyway. Someone suggests that I might ask too much in my marriage. After all, both of us have no affairs. Already settled down with house and cars and a kid. What else you hope for? Why tear the family apart and expose everyone to pain? Are you sure you would get a better marriage the second time? But I feel I need to be honest. This is a dysfunctional marriage and failed many attempts of repair. There is no true love between us. The real reason my wife stay in the marriage is that she needs me, not love me. I cannot live in such marriage. I would be a liar and coward if I stay. I need to let go of my heart. I need be me. In the 14 years of marriage, I have been working hard and went through a lot to reach this stage now. My destination, my goal and my dream are a happy family, secure and loving. It is so sad that I get here only to seek a divorce. It is the biggest failure of my life. I am the loser. After all, I pray to God to help me go through this. I pray to God to help my wife and my son to go through this, safe and sound. I hope my soon-to-be ex-wife has a happy life in front of her and turn into a better person than she is now. My dad passed last year, in his final days. I talked with him every week by phone. Yet, my wife disproved my talking and said it was too long. One time, she even argues loudly to stop me talking and embarrassed my dad. I still wonder why she had no respect and no sympathies toward my dad with a terminal lung cancer. After his death, my wife shed no tears, showed no sorrow. But when one of her friends dies, she cried several times and went her way to help his family. I can only draw a conclusion that she does not belong to me and my family. Sadly, she sticks with me most because of my money and easy to control. Or fear of divorce. I did talk to several attorneys 3 months ago when I moved out. I know I will be lost big after the divorce. I am living in Massachusetts. I will be lost 50% of asset with possible 10 years of alimony and even longer child support. I am ready to take it according to the law. I can live. I have no plan for second marriage now, although I know I need to keep my heart open. I need to heal first from the divorce, and I expect it to last at least 2 years. Ironically, my wife used to expect 70% of my asset and 70% of my salary. She was shocked to learn from lawyers that she had less. She thinks of this as unfair. In order to avoid divorce, she softens his attitude after this, and we have 3 months of peaceful time. But last night, her temper burst again and we are now in the square one. I need to go through this without her interruption. I just got a call from my wife. First, she used my son to ask me to go back home. Then she blames me last night for going back late. She said she was not afraid of divorce. She threatens me many times as to sell the house and disappear so I cannot find my son, disrupt my work so I cannot work anymore, badmouth me at court and in front of friends so everybody knows I am bad. Reputation is important for my work too. Even claim I misuse her during past fight and send me to jail, etc. Anyway, she said to let me lost everything in the divorce. Tough girl. Is she, although I try to be brave and stand on my own. I am sure my wife has some tricks to play to foul divorce. It will be interesting to see how a mastermind like her can play the game this time. She has won this game in 14 years and has a record she would be proud of herself. But next week I will bring my marriage certificate and sign a contract with a divorce attorney. It's worth noting that I have no cash now after buying her a new car. I will use my line of credit to go through this. I prepare to be serious hurt in the process, but as a man, live free or die, I will not yield to a nasty marriage, and hopefully I am smart enough to minimize the hurt felt by both of us. I think my wife can have two sides, an evil side and a human side, in a nasty fight. With an evil spirit, it would hurt both of us and Kid badly. I pray to God to rescue her and let her show the human side, which I think is her true color. For me, I tell myself I need to do this. I need the divorce to free my spirit, to restore my confidence and integrity, to live my way to be a dedicated dad, son, brother, ex-husband, and hopefully a husband again, after all. I need a happy and loving family and a supportive and understanding wife if I can get. I do not think my wife is smart in many ways. Most of her threatening is baseless and empty. I think I can deal with her rough side. She does show her soft side every time we are on the brink of divorce. That killed me in the past and hopefully not this time. I know she would be difficult to stand psychologically, let alone financially. I know better now what she is for me is not love but need. It is unfair for me to be used by her all my life. Although she already gets most of it, I am very easy to feel her pain and get hooked many times. This is really my weakness. I long for a normal family life. It takes hundreds of cycles of remedy and pain for me to force myself to pull the plug. My heart is bleeding because of my poor son in the middle. I really want the marriage to work, but I cannot change her, and I have failed so many times to repair. All the failures can be traced back to her does not care attitude and her canny side of dealing with me. Just a quick update. My wife persuaded me to go back home last night by telling me to talk about divorce. She said I use divorce to get what I want. This is an annoying judgment she passes on me. I have denied it several times and it never gets across her. Nevertheless, she asked what I could offer in the divorce, said better settle it on our own to save attorney fees for Kid. I asked her to read the email again I sent her 3 months ago. In that email, I listed all our assets for dividing in half and my proposal of alimony and child support. She said she has not taken it seriously and felt being pushed again by me for divorce, which she has no time to prepare for. It is amazing for her to say that, as I spoke divorce to her hundreds of times, wrote to her several times, even called her parents last year about my intention for divorce. Yet, she claimed a big surprise. She wanted me to feel guilty about it. She said I should. What I offer is the house, the new car, the monthly payments that can make her live comfortably for 10 years without working, Kid's future college tuition on me. She had a master's degree and worked before. She can work but picky. She was not impressed and asked for more, but never showed her bottom line. She criticized me for my preferring money over child, my cold heart, my betrayal. One thing that hardened my feeling is that she always regards our son as hers only. She said I could not be trusted to keep any promises regarding my son. She used to say I do not love my son and was shut up by my angry response. But here is again. I can shut up her mouth to say that, but I cannot shut up her mind to think of me in that way. I see no way out for me but divorce. My wife made an interesting point last night by pointing out that the 50% split of our asset is not fair for her. This is because I have been giving away some money to my disabled and bedridden mom to support her every year. She considers 50% of that money belongs to her. I want to ask you guys, is it fair that I consider it an obligation for me to support my mom and I have been working extra hours for it, and it should not consider my wife's income? Her is another one reason for me to go divorce. She regards everything I earn belongs to her. So, she is upset that my parents got some money from me that should be hers. She shows disdain to my parents and treats them like beggars. It seems an irony for me to realize that she actually is feeling I owe her money in our ongoing marriage because of my support to my parents. Although I am the bread earner, that is why she looks down on me. It is because I have a sin of coming from a poor family. Sadly enough, I cannot change where I came from. The only thing I can do is let the unhappy and victim-like wife go. Lots of time I am thinking why I need the divorce. Is it truly unavoidable and right thing to do? If I am smart enough, kind and caring enough, and paying enough attention to details, will the marriage change to better? What is my part of responsibility and my part of contribution to this failed marriage? Am I simply the wrong mate for her? So she just shows her nasty side to me only? Had I done differently, would she be a lovely wife? Is it an unavoidable fate for our marriage, considering my family background, her family background, my personality and her personality? Is God just sends her to punish me to be humble, or to learn from my miseries? On why I told my wife divorce so many times without backing up. I think it is due to my weakness and my wife's skills. Every time I said it, I mean it, then my wife would turn to a lovely caring spouse. Then it is hard for me to push her off. She does it in a persistent way. I just push her back tonight only after using harsh languages and rude behavior that I feels bad about. Lots of times when coping with her, I find myself turned to such kind of person that I am ashamed of. Now I realize that I am weak in dealing with such stress. I yielded to her when she was nasty enough to scare me. I yielded to her when she showed vulnerable side and willingness to compromise. She never admits she has any faults though. I yielded to her when she keeps making requests hundreds of times. She is good at brainwashing me too. Of course, the most important reason is that divorce itself is painful. The most painful thing in it is to get over with the fact that my wife is not the spouse I used to think and I love to believe. Only pain after pain can bring me to reality gradually. The second thing related is the guilty feeling to my kid and my value system. So, I feel I need to be generous in the divorce to help me get a little relief from it. I am a person that is easy to forget and forgive. It takes hundreds of painful cycles to build up enough memory for me to carry the divorce process through. So, I must admit that I do care about her. I try to do my best to understand her. It really takes a long time for me to convince myself that she does not really love me and there is really no way out for our marriage. My wife has a dominant personality and actually thinks she can handle me like a pet. I am a person a fiend labeled as people pleaser. And I am happy to make others happy. I am still live in our home and it is a daily challenge for me to not to fall into her traps. I feel I grow every day this way and I can better understand her now. The more I know her, the more I am determined to leave her. Just give an example. She insisted on giving me a message on my back pain I told her weeks ago. Back then, she was very reluctant to even move a finger. Last night, to head off my divorce call, she did it enthusiastically even under my disproof. She seems happy to avoid intimacy with me, but last night, she sneaked into my bed even after I threw her pillow away. I am not proud of myself of this bad behavior. But even this was not enough to fend off her. So, she knows how to please me, but she is not willing to do it voluntarily as she does not love me. But she can do it as a tool to draw me in once I am thinking of divorce. In our 14 years of marriage, not 1 year passed without I think of divorce. Every time I backed off because I am seriously about marriage, imaging how many hours I have spent in this issue. I would have got several PhD for my involvement. I call it a fog for me. It is hard to understand the rationale behind my wife. I am not perfect, but I am proud of myself that I always put family value the upfront. I had no affairs and without my wife, I would still be a virgin. I always try hard to think from her point of view. I always give me a reasonable doubt about myself to be not overconfident. I am willing to accommodate my wife in many ways, but I cannot stay in the marriage realizing that she is not loving me and only to dominate me to get what she actually cares about. Without the feeling of love, I know her appetite for material life was endless. I think it is because she does not love me and does not feel the love for me that she is treating me like this. She probably would prefer lots of our friends over me. She came to tears when one of our friends died and showed no sympathy toward my dad in his passing of cancer. She talked many times that how wonderful other husbands are and feels frustrated and down to stuck with me. It is like she is having an EA without a real OM. She has not got such an opportunity, but her mind is longed for someone new, rich and more handle-able. She is scared when facing the divorce like many other WS. That she is against divorce does not mean that she loves me, does not mean that she is happy with current marriage. She simply is scared and not ready yet. She simply goes against a solution that does not make sense to her in her cold heart gain and loss calculation. This morning she criticized me to be a hypocrite because she saw me kind to our friend's son in front of the dad, but not so good after he left. This allegation shocked me. First, this is not true and has to be a gross misunderstanding. Second, this has come from my wife. It seems that she pays more attention and sympathized more with outside friends than with me. I told her many times, if you do not love me, just let me go. Although I am pretty sure of no affair yet from my wife, but I feel she is like one. She just lacks such an opportunity. By divorcing her but still offer an economical buffer, I may do her a good service to end such unhappy marriage and set up a new chapter for her life. She will have new risks and new opportunities after divorce. It is fair, isn't it? Lots of my friends are puzzled by how long I have stayed in my marriage within the shadow of divorce. They saw a side of me who is indecisive, weak, inconfident, and frankly, not smart at all. Lots of them voiced their concern as, just make a decision, man. I was disheartened by my wife's attitude toward our current state of marriage as business as usual. She said to me she saw nothing wrong with our current marriage. She said I am the one who is not satisfied and should be changed. She said I must be brainwashed by my parents and sister to want a divorce. She hates all my old family members. That is a long story. It is so easy for me to fall back, and hard to maintain a divorce spirit. I need to tell myself why I have to. My wife chooses to ignore my feeling, choose to treat my love to my extended family as negative, choose to resort to violence to dominate. She is too selfish and forget the role of wife. I used to choose to accommodate her against my will, which is a big mistake and reflects my own weakness. I choose to stop it now, and I need to go through the divorce process to a bright tomorrow. Another update. Had an appointment with attorney today to give the check. Wife urged me emotionally to stop. She said her brother's family would visit her soon. It was a fact I just learned, and did not want me to ruin her mood now. Promised me to file joint petition after they leave. I want to be decent with her family and canceled the meeting. Attorney got upset because I canceled him before to give my wife last chance 2 months ago. Attorney said she is manipulating me. I will use STBX instead of my wife from now. STBX found this thread and was furious with me. She said I was so mean to write so many bad words about her, but these words are what I think as is, not to attack her. At least she admitted that she stayed in the marriage just for the kid. She feels like a victim and says she made so much sacrifice. Her living condition is for lots of average person to envy. So, her sacrifice must come from her miserable marriage. So, in her eyes, I must be so bad and so intolerable for her that she does feel like a rape victim. I felt so sorry about this and offer the divorce once again. I just realized my part of faults in this failed marriage. I am weak and not confident myself. I am thinking things from her angle too much and lost the whole picture. I was brainwashed by her. Gradually, she is a master of brainwashing to push my sister apart. She repeatedly personal attacks her to me. She is good at speaking thousands of times to make a lie like a truth. She would be making you very uncomfortable to confront her with facts. It is my fault that I did not stand by myself, stand by the right thing to do. Stand by the red line. I have been teaching her how to handle me all along. She shows no respect of me. Deep down she knows I can be her slaves. It is easy for her to get her way by manipulating me instead of loving me. I have not behaved like a man, so she has not respected me as a man. I used to think as lovers, I get her love and respect mutually. I was wrong. It was wrong for me to take her love and respect for granted. I did not earn them, and I have not got them even now. She is actually a stranger to me, but I did not realize it. She has opposite point of view from me for most of the issues. We have been living in a different world in spite of under the same roof. We are not meant to be together right from the start. When she met me, she was the oldest among my friends and has not got a serious boyfriend. She was nice more than enough for me to feel flattened and loved when we were dating. She showed a different face after mission accomplished. It's likely that she married me because she recognized that she could handle me easily and comfortably. She handled me so well that I thought it was kind of love. She has certain ways to raise the bar to escalate fighting with me. She may start with bombing me with accusations and raise her voice. Then she tries to get my attention by limiting my movement and face me straight. If she is angrier, she may damage things or doing things that humiliate me, like spitting on my face, grabbing and throwing away things on my hand, etc. Very creative sometimes. What she wants is the end result. I need to be overwhelmed and discomfort enough for her to think she gets it even. She hates my family and try to minimize my contact with my family all the time. She also blames all our marriage problems on my parents and sister. She saw nothing wrong with her and all wrong with my side. I do not think she can change this. Not by a third-party advice. Her elder brother will come next week. He is good to me so far. Her younger brother had conflicts with my sister. I was very nice to her family members before, but now I am disappointed with their responses. Her young brother and parents blame our marriage problems on me and my family, but I am always be decent with them. My wife was not totally satisfied with me though. She has a habit to put bad intention on me when observing. In marriage there are 3 truths: her truth, his truth, and the truth. Each person sees life through their own perspective. This is one reason that communication is so important. I love to quote these words. I said these words all the time. I try to understand her truth from her point of view. But I realize now I did this too much and I lost my truth and get brainwashed by her. There is no true communication between us with a genuine intention. She has a pattern to play down my concern, brush off my questioning, change the topic, overwhelming me with her own questions, blaming me, you first, because of you, etc. She is absolutely a master of these skills. It hurts me when she puts straight lies or plays me like a baby. I feel I am forced to divorce her because there is no way out for us. Why? She is an NPD. 1. Has a grandiose sense of self-importance. Although she has nothing to boast of, she exaggerates her dad's achievements and talents. She claims all her family members are superior to others around. 2. Is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success. She counts on me to bring her a lifestyle that stay top of her friends. 3. Believes that she is special and unique and can only be understood by her family. 4. Requires excessive admiration from me and kid. 5. Has a sense of entitlement. She has unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment by me even after divorce. Wants way much alimony money beyond the guideline. 6. Is interpersonally exploitative. She takes advantage of me and kid to achieve her own ends. 7. Lacks empathy. She is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of mine. 8. Is often envious of others. In the dark, she also believes others are envious of her beauty, talent, success. Noble family. 9. Shows arrogant, haughty attitudes when I complain about her. She just said I was in such a lower level that does not deserve her attention. 10. Reacting to criticism with anger and contempt. 11. Being obsessed with oneself. She is so focused on her mini discomfort that she goes to see her doctors enough times for her to let her out of her patient list. 12. Becoming easily hurt and rejected. Many times, I was stunted by her furious reaction to my minor annoying questions. 13. Setting goals that are unrealistic. Here is she want. Not working or work in a favorable environment. Tons of money. $1 million house, BMW, nanny at home to cook, lawn company hired to take care of her lawn, travel worldwide. Need to marry Bill Gates. 14. Wanting the best of everything. Above all, she looks normal, charming in front of friends always, in front of me most of the time. You just cannot be intimate with her and understand her thinking. You are just shocked by her times and again to the point that the world with her is not feeling real. She is a pathological liar. She lied to herself and me so innocently that to trust her is to trust a ghost. My comment. Part 2 ending coming within a few hours. Hope you guys like this. Check out the other ones in the meantime. And let me go finish